This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Abner has the night off. You can see Shaylee Sanders is standing beside me. You'll know why in a moment. Or you've been watching her for 3 weeks as she's covered the sentencing and the trial of Hollis Daniels, the 24-year-old who admitted to shooting and killing Texas Tech police officer Floyd East Jr. in October 2017. Well, it took the jury about 20 hours, 3 days for the verdict, for the sentencing verdict. KCBD's Shaylee Sanders sat through the whole thing from the very beginning. What was his reaction tonight when the jury finally made a decision around, what was it, about 7 o'clock, 7:30?
I know, I kind of lost track of time, but like you said, it had been more than 20 hours of deliberation. They brought Hollis Daniels into the courtroom. He had been sitting in another courtroom throughout much of the day, so we didn't really get a chance to see him. But his back was faced to the gallery, so I couldn't really see his reaction when the judge read the sentence. But I can tell you later on more about his family's reaction because they were sitting directly behind me. I could hear them crying. I turned around, I saw them hugging, very thankful that the jury had decided to spare Daniel's life. The East family, sitting on the other side of the courtroom, they stood there silently. They didn't show a lot of emotion during that sentencing. However, they did sit down with reporters afterwards, and they shared a message for Lubbock, for the Texas Tech community, and for the Daniels family.
To the Lubbock and to the El Paso community, from the entire family and I, we say thank you for 5 long years of your support and your love. To the Daniels family, my condolences. Nobody wins. We all grieve.
A heartfelt statement from Carmen East, the widow of Texas Tech University police officer Floyd East Jr., who testified that East sent her this photo the morning of his death. It would be the last message she ever received from the officer who was shot and killed while on the job. In honor of Officer East, the family created Texas 635 after Officer East's badge number to provide emotional support to the surviving family of law enforcement. In her closing argument, elected District Attorney Sunshine Stanek asked the jury to give Daniels the death penalty, one of the hardest things she says she's had to do. It's something we asked her about tonight. She said one of the hardest things you had to do was to, and you pointed to Hollis Daniels, to ask the jury to kill this man because you did not feel like other officers and inmates would be safe if he spent the rest of his life in a TDCJ unit. Do you still feel that way today?
I stand by my statement, yes.
Daniel's family and his attorneys are relieved by the jury's sentence.
Obviously, this case was a tragedy. Regardless of the jury's verdict of life in prison, there are no winners. The East family lost a fine man.
Throughout this sentencing phase, the defense argued Daniels was not in his right mind when he pulled the trigger. They argued he had years of untreated depression and drug abuse, and at the time of the shooting, he was suicidal and high on Xanax and marijuana, an argument Officer East's wife also addressed.
To all students from Texas Tech and all universities who are considering suicide or whom find themselves in a dark place, reach out to the services in your community and make it a true effort to heal. And volunteer to all types of humanitarian services. Give yourself, use your God-given gift to love. It will fill your soul.
And one of East's sisters did take the stand. She gave a victim impact statement that comes right after the sentencing, and she looked Daniels right in the eye, and she said, in part, "You showed him no mercy, and like the coward you are, you didn't give him a chance to fight for his life. I pray that justice show you the same, no mercy, and may you rot in hell." And she was looking directly at Hollis. Again, we couldn't see his reaction because the way the courtroom is set up, his back is facing us. But after the sentencing, we did see one of his attorneys, Lubbock attorney Mark Snodgrass, wrap his arms around Daniels when they learned that the jury had spared his life.
You have tears in your eyes now. This has been emotional, not just for the families, the spectators, but This must have been grueling for you for 3 weeks to really become a part of this whole situation.
It's a really difficult position to be in because you've got two families who are grieving. You've got one family thinking they may lose their son. You've got another family who has lost their loved one. And you can tell that Daniel's parents love him and tried to provide everything they could for him. A lot of questions as to what led him to this point. And then, of course, Officer East, you know, he just seemed like such a kind person. Did nothing wrong, woke up every day excited to go after this dream job that he went after later on in life. And so his children were in there, and it was just a lot of emotion. And of course, the jury having to make such a difficult decision.
Something you'll take home with you forever, I'm sure, after covering this.
Yes.
Thank you for your coverage, Shaylee.
Sure,
We appreciate
thanks,
it.